Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. Today I figured I will talk about the books that I've read from January till now and kind of go over the ratings and what I thought about them. So for January, I started reading the Lord series by Chantal Tessier. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but yeah. It's The Ritual, The Sinner, The Sacrifice, Sabotage, and Carnage. And altogether, I did actually finish it all in February. But for January, I read The Sinner, The Sacrifice, and Sabotage. And Wretched by Emily McIntyre. I did start that, I did start Wretched, I want to say in December, but I kind of put it to the side and then came back to it when I kind of needed like a palate cleanser type of thing from the Lord series. But The Sinner, The Ritual, I believe was my favorite book from the Lord series. I really like Riot. I don't know why, but I do. The story was really interesting to read, and it kind of just kept picking up from book to book. But Riot, Sin, and Tyson were definitely my favorites. So the first three books, The Ritual, The Sinner, and The Sacrifice. All the plot twists in those books were absolutely insane, and I love them. It kept me on my toes. I did not see half of it coming. So it was really interesting to read those. Wretched. So I loved Hook by Emily McIntyre. I did like Scarred. Wretched, I don't know if it was because I'm not a big Wizard of Oz fan, but it wasn't my favorite thing in the world. I mean, I still rated it a 4 stars. Still love it. Still love Emily McIntyre. I did enjoy the story and the premise of it, but I think just kind of the underlying tones of the Wizard of Oz thing kind of threw me off, and it just wasn't my thing. So the the first four of the Lord series I read, and Wretched that I read in January. Sabotage wasn't my favorite, but I did still give it a 4 star. I'm looking at my book journal right now, so I remember. But yeah, Sabotage wasn't my favorite, and it was a novella, but it was kind of interesting to see who the guys were that worked for Tyson. So, I mean, it works, I guess. But yeah, those, the Ritual and The Sinner and The Sacrifice all got 5 stars. Sabotage and Wretched got 4 stars for January reads. For my February reads, I finally finished Carnage. I gave that a 4 stars. It just wasn't my favorite either. I felt like the ending was kind of rushed somehow. The plot twists and how all the books kind of intertwined, and seeing Riot and Tyson and Sin interacting with Carnage a little bit more, that was really interesting to read. But fantastic series, absolutely fantastic. Definitely check trigger warnings before if you're gonna read them, just saying. And then I needed a palate cleanser, a really big one, from all the dark romances I was reading. So I got 3 really fluffy hockey romances that I read. So the first one was Wildfire. I did some annotating. Absolutely loved this. However, I want to say my favorite character was Xander, who was Russ's roommate at the at the camp. He just killed me And of course the dogs in this book were so cute, and they stole the show so quickly. But yeah, the dogs and Xander absolutely stole the show from Russ and Aurora. I still love them. They were so cute and so adorable. And I loved how Aurora was like, this is so not main character energy of me. That it was adorable. Absolutely adorable. It just happy, fluffy read. Absolutely loved it. My next one was a book that I was highly anticipating, and when I got it, it took everything in me not to read it like right away. Which also, by the way, Wildfire, 5 stars. But The Graham Effect. Absolutely fell in love with Gigi and Ryder. It was so good. I did some annotating as well. Their like how they interacted was just, they were just so good. Like, I just loved them so much. Ryder was like falling hard even before he realized it. And can we talk about that phone call where he was just like, use me? Can we talk about that for a minute? Because that, like, I was astonished. Okay, I had to stop and like giggle like a little kid, like kicking my feet. And just absolutely fantastic. It was so good to see Hannah and Garrett and Dean and all of them again, and kind of hear about like all of Gigi's cousins. It's just such a great book. And Dean Dean giving her like a value pack of condoms, it was on par with Dean's personality. And this book is just so good. So freaking good. And I cannot wait for the Dixon role, because Elle Kennedy kills it every time. Every time she kills it. Absolutely kills it. Finally, the book that I ended February with was The Goal by Elle Kennedy. This is basically the last book in the Off-Campus series, and this is the original cover, which was so freaking hard to find. I bought these, like, I bought the first, like, 3 before she changed the covers on me. But I got The Goal and then The Legacy. I finally found them in the original covers, so yes. But I held off on reading this one because it was an accidental pregnancy, and that's not really my favorite storyline or trope. I still enjoyed it. Tucker and Sabrina were definitely an interesting combination, and seeing kind of like how all of their friends reacted to the news were really funny. And I finally got to see a reference to Gigi's name from this book, because Garrett was insisting they name their child Gigi or something like similar to Garrett Graham, because it's Garrett. I loved how Garrett and Logan were competing to see who would be the godfather. And I kind of liked how Dean was, of course he was really like, are you kidding me right now? Like, shocked about it. But I kind of liked how he turned around and was like, oh shit, you actually care about Tucker. I'll back up, basically, like, truce. I really loved to see that. That made me really happy. He definitely, like, won me back over in this book, because he did kind of annoy me with how he reacted at the news, but he made up for it for this one. Okay, so the first book that I started March with was There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, which I gave it 3.5 stars. I wasn't as, like, involved like, in the story. Like, I just didn't feel... I couldn't bring myself to really feel emotions through the book. Like, I wasn't, like, laughing really or at anything, or, like, feeling... Like, I didn't get a whole lot from it. The story is, like, interesting enough, and, I do want to know what happens. So, I did struggle through it. I did read it in a day, though. They're small books. It just, like, I don't know. It's still a good read, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. I haven't rated anything less than 4 stars for a while. But, yeah, there are no saints. 3.5 stars. I didn't really get anything out of it, but I am intrigued enough in the story that I am currently reading There Is No Devil, which I'm not that far into, and it's really hard to keep reading. There's just too much detail going on, and too many inner thoughts happening, and I'm gonna finish it because I don't like to DNF. But I don't know. It's just not my thing. It is what it is. But, yeah. Those are my current reads and my past reads. If you want any more, any more information on any of the books I read, this was my number 1 book for February. And The Ritual was my number 1 for January. And I am trying to read 3 to 4 books a month, so I'm hoping after There Is No Devil, I can get back into the 4 and 5 star range for me. But if you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear them. I've been trying to, like, switch between physical copies and Kindle. So March is a Kindle month. So after There Is No Devil, which I'm also reading on Kindle, 2 more Kindle books, and then in April, be back to paperbacks or, just a physical copy. Just to kind of try to get through my physical books on my bookshelf as well. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys thought of the books I've read. If you want any more information on the books I've read, like any more like in-depth like things on them, or if you just have any recommendations for me to read. I read a little bit of everything, so I'm up for ideas and suggestions. All right.